Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Office Lovers along Mahiro's route. We are on Chapter 8, When Love Comes to Fruition, so I'm going to try to finish this up tonight. I think I should have plenty of time. Now that we're finally... Usually things are finished up by Chapter 7, and then Chapter 8's happiness, and then you have the good endings, but we still don't know what's going on even though we're on Chapter 8. So hopefully we'll figure it out here. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. I decided to tell him and not try to keep everything to myself.
I want to help you because I love you. Is that so wrong?
I shook my head no. I was happy that he cared for me so much.
If you can't tell me everything, tell me what you can. I want to be able to help you. And don't keep it all yourself. I'm begging you. Please let me help you.
He grabbed onto my shoulders and spoke in a voice that sounded on the verge of tears. He was being so earnest, maybe all my worry was for nothing. I could tell that he cared about me. That much wasn't a lie. I could rely on at least that truth for sure. I'll tell you everything.
Okay.
He calmly let go of my shoulders. You went into Mr. Otori's office today, didn't you?
Yeah.
He nodded uneasily. After you left, I went to the sales department to deliver some papers and passed by.
Passed by? Oh.
He exclaimed, understanding what that might have meant.
You heard our conversation, didn't you?
Yeah, I heard you shout and stopped to see what happened. I'm sorry for listening.
No, don't be. It's my fault for not telling you about it. I'm the one who's sorry.
I had apologized, but he did it in turn and lowered his head to bow. Was the wedding interview planned out before we became a couple? Before we started dating? I meekly asked, nervous to hear the answer. He painfully nodded his head.
It wasn't a sure thing back then, but it's not like I didn't know it would probably happen.
But why is Mr. Otori involved in this? It's not like Mr. Otori's his father. He knew he was going to see a woman for an arranged marriage meeting, but he still confessed to me.
I'll explain it from the beginning. Will you hear me out?
Yeah. I nodded, and he took my hand to lead me toward the sofa. We sat down next to each other on the sofa, and he began to explain slowly.
We're a small company, but at home, we make the raw ingredients for makeup. My father wants me to take over the family business.
But you didn't?
No, I'm the second son. My brother was the one who succeeded our father and the business. I never wanted to make the ingredients, but to create something out of them.
So that's why you tried to get into development?
That's right. I applied to all sorts of cosmetic companies. This was one of them. Do you remember me at the group interview?
Kinda.
Well, I remember everything about you. I remember liking the atmosphere of this company. The people, too. It seemed like I could get along with everyone here. That's why I decided to work here.
Me too. I like the atmosphere here. It's nice, but also challenges you.
I guess we thought the same thing. I never heard back from the other companies, but I was happy to get an offer from here. But...
Worry clouded his brow. What happened?
After working here a while, I found out that the CEO and I are related.
Oh, they are related? What? That's weird. Why didn't this come up in Otori's route? You two must have been pretty distant relatives to not know.
Yeah, it turns out he's my second cousin. I didn't know about him, but I guess he knew about me.
He lowered his gaze to the ground.
I thought I got accepted here on merit alone, but maybe it was just because our connection. That would explain why only this place offered me a job.
Aww.
Just thinking about it is depressing. All the others here got in because they were useful, but not me. I hate feeling inferior to everyone.
If I remember, you always seemed so down when you first started here.
Yeah, if it wasn't for you, I'd never made it this far.
Did I say something to you?
What? You don't remember?
Sorry, no.
You dummy.
A little disappointed, he shook his head and chuckled.
You know how you said you weren't suited for marketing, but still tried so hard at it?
Yeah, I was desperate back then too.
Back then, when I was feeling really grumpy, you said to me, they invest in us for the value we bring for the future. Not now. If you convince yourself you can't do something before you try it, you'll get nowhere.
That's a rather naive thing to say. Well, apparently it helped. It was embarrassing to hear it, even though I had said it.
It was thanks to those words that I got as far as I did. I feel like I've grown and progressed so much. My relation to the CEO has nothing to do with it. Even if I'm bad now, I can keep trying. I know I'll find something that I can do well in.
I feel the same way. When I told you all that, it was for me. I was convincing myself. I had no confidence in myself. I never thought I'd be put in marketing.
We're like two birds of a feather.
He smiled playfully. You might be right. I smiled along with him.
Now that I've accomplished something, I can have more confidence in myself. I thought to myself, if this project goes well, I'd tell you I'd love you after it's over. But then he told us relationships were off, and I still have to do the marriage meeting.
Why did you confess to me when you still had the meeting? His smile quickly disappeared, and he stared at the ground.
I got worried.
Why? You could have done it after the project was over. Wouldn't it have been better all around to just do that?
I thought the same thing when I found out about it. I told myself to just settle down and wait a little bit to confess. In the meantime, I would just have to take it easy and approach you slowly.
What do you mean, approach?
The girl I liked was on the same project and team as me. Even if I couldn't confess, I could still get closer to you.
Is that why you invited me on a date and got me a present?
To sum it up, yes, that's what happened. After I found out I was on the project, Mr. Otori called me in to talk.
He called you in? All alone?
Yeah, he said if I didn't show my potential, that I'd have to go to the marriage meeting. He gave me the business card of the girl's father.
Business card? That was strange.
He's in a rival company, but they put in orders with my family business. So if it went well, our family could profit with some sort of deal. Of course, I refused to take part in it. I already had a girl I liked. They asked if I wasn't dating anyone, then there was no reason to decline.
So that's why you needed to hook up with me so quick.
Well, I didn't want to go to the meeting, but that isn't why I wanted to date you. I wanted to because I liked you. It's as simple as that.
I could hear the pain in his voice.
I think the reason he forbade us from dating is because he knew I was interested in you.
I guess he really wants you to hook up with that girl.
Seems like it.
Maybe that was why Mr. Otori was always so suspicious of us.
He even tricked me a bunch of times to meet her.
What do you mean?
Like, he sent me to deliver things to a friend, but it was her who showed up.
Aha! Was she pretty? What did you think?
She has a nice face, but you're 100 times cuter than her. What am I saying?
My heart raced after being called cute out of the blue. I sincerely doubt I'm 100 times cuter than anyone.
I can't help it. I'm in love.
Was he embarrassed to say that? His face blushed from ear to ear.
Anyway, I gave her the papers and came right back. When I went to see Mr. Otori, he asked if I thought she was pretty and if I liked her. That jerk. He kept doing things like that to have us meet over and over again. On top of that, some things got out of hand at home, so I had to help out. He told me I should be helping out at home before anything else. I didn't want anyone to hear about the problems at home, so I tried to keep it a secret. It was hard dealing with my father and Mr. Otori at the same time without anyone knowing. I was running out of time for the project too, and I had all that to deal with. It sucked.
He let out a huge sigh. What was all this about secrets and not letting anyone find out? Mahiro, I heard you make some pretty suspicious phone calls. Now seemed to be a good time to ask him about it. You were saying things like, I'm done with my part. Make sure you got the data and stuff.
What? You heard that too? That was a call with my father. He wants me to quit and help out with the family business if I couldn't make it here. I got mad and told him I'd put out a bestseller, so he should just hold his horses. I don't know what his problem was, but he needs to learn to take care of the business on his own. I was also calling Mr. Otori too. I didn't want anyone to hear about it, so I had to sneak around to do it.
So you weren't secretly talking with a rival company after all?
What? A rival? You're kidding, right?
But you dropped this. Well, you know what it is now. It's the girl's father's card. I bought out the business card with the rival CEO on it. Why do you have something like this? Our company has no connection with them. I'm such a ditz, he already told me. I went there and saw you handing some papers to a woman from that company. Are you saying that you weren't acting as a spy?
What? A spy?
His eyes widened for a moment before he burst into laughter.
No. There's no way. I wouldn't even know how. Besides, the guy on this card is the father of the girl I'm supposed to meet. I stuffed it in my pocket and forgot all about it. I'd be a terrible spy. I'm bad at lying. I'm not clever enough, and, well, do I look like one?
He chuckled at the thought. But all the signs were there. I was so worried about what to do if it was true. I pursed my lips and pouted.
I'm sorry. Wait, don't tell me that's what you've been so worried about.
He peered into my eyes, as if trying to read my mind. Yeah.
You should have talked to me about it earlier.
I did, but you told me to trust you. I tried to believe it was all just a coincidence and believed in you.
Here I thought it was that you were jealous of me for meeting that girl. To be honest, I spotted you for a second when I was handing her the papers. I couldn't tell if you saw me though, but now I know you obviously had. I didn't want you to worry over nothing. I plan to finish the project, and when it's all said and done, I tell Mr. Otori exactly how it is, that we're dating, so I can't go to the marriage meeting. It would be fine since we aren't allowed to date only because of the project.
So why did you tell Mr. Otori that we weren't in a relationship when he asked? So we wouldn't get in trouble? His face turned grim when he heard my question. I was talking to Mahiro about when I overheard his talk with Mr. Otori.
That was my only choice. It's not like it stopped us, but he did tell us not to get involved with anyone at work. If I can't keep it a secret until the project is over, it'll cause all sorts of trouble for you.
He said it to protect me? Duh. All this time I was doubting him too. I was such an idiot.
Anyway, when the project is over, we'll probably be reassigned to new areas. If I told you I liked you then, it might be too late. When the project is over, Mr. Otori will definitely try to get me to at least meet her. That is, if I don't have a girlfriend. So that's the reason for being in such a hurry to get with you.
I see.
I should have talked to you about this much earlier. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for doubting you. I thought you were a spy and were dating me only to keep my mouth shut. I was so worried and had all these crazy thoughts. I was overcome with sadness just remembering how worried I was. He noticed and put his arm around me and pulled me close.
I could never kiss someone I didn't love. I could never say I love you if it wasn't real. If I was ever that good, I would have confessed to you a long time ago.
A long time ago?
During training or something. I always wanted to get your number, but was never brave enough. Other guys can just walk up and ask without breaking a sweat, but not me.
To be honest, that surprises me.
Just so you know, I fell in love with you as soon as I saw you at the group interview.
Love at first sight?
You seemed a little nutty, but you challenged yourself from the very beginning.
Nutty? What kind of thing is that to tell me?
You had crazy new ideas every other day. I thought you were a pretty interesting girl. Ever since then, I had my eyes on you. Then, that one day, you came over and cheered me up.
You were a little nutty yourself if you fell in love with me.
Hey now, don't say that about yourself.
But look at me. I'm certainly not the most feminine girl alive, am I?
No. You made me a delicious lunch and you've been kind to me. And when you're feeling good, you make the sexiest sounds ever.
He seductively whispered in my ear.
You really are the cutest.
How could he say that with such a straight face? My heart skipped a beat.
So, you thought I was a spy?
He inched closer to me and twirled my hair around his finger. Yeah.
You became my lover even though you thought that? You must be obsessed with me.
He teased me with a playful smile. Don't laugh, I was worried sick. His playful mood was ruined.
I'm sorry.
He apologized and pulled me close.
I'm sorry I made you worry. Sorry for all the trouble I caused. Now that all the confusion is gone, do you care if I confess to you again?
No.
Thanks.
He let go of me and stared into my eyes.
Dirili.
When he said my whole name, it made me blush.
I loved you since we first met. Will you go out with me?
Yes, I love you too, Mahiro. He grabbed me and pulled me in to hug me.
I love you. I'll never let you go.
That picture's a little too close. I need to see the full one in the gallery.
I'll somehow make my father and Mr. Otori see my way. We'll be an official couple. Trust me.
I'll trust you to the very end.
Thank you. I love you.
He leaned his face toward me and kissed me on the lips. While we kissed, his large hand gently stroked my head and cradled my neck. I remembered being so confused when we first kissed. Even when we laid together, I was happy but felt like I was holding back. I loved him, so I had been ignoring all my suspicion and doubt. But now it was different. I could trust him completely. There was no hesitation in my words and feelings now. I could finally accept him and love him for who he truly was. We embraced and kissed each other right in the middle of the office. Mahiro.
I love you. I love you so much. I can't stop. I want to become one with you. I want all of you.
I'm yours.
I love you.
He kissed my cheek and whispered in my ear. His body began to move inside me. Ugh. The sensation forced a moan out of me.
Does it hurt?
He stopped moving and looked into my eyes with a worried face. I'm okay. It just feels so warm, so loving.
I feel it too. It makes me so happy. So happy I think I'm going crazy. I can't stop. I need you.
Our bodies pressed against each other once again. Ugh, you're going too fast, but it feels good.
Dirili, I love you, Dirili.
He laid kisses on me while calling out my name. Every time his body moved faster, my body became hotter and hotter. My mind suddenly went blank with pleasure. Mahiro held me tight as my body became weak.
Do you feel my love?
He gave his lips a rest as he posed the question. I want to feel it more.
You little devil. I'll give you as much as you want. I can't get enough of you. As long as I've got you, I don't need anything else.
He whispered in my ear and pulled me tighter. That night, we went to a hotel and fell asleep with our hands clasped together.
I'm going to see the project through to the end.
I could feel his determination when he squeezed my hand. Yeah. I nodded to him and squeezed back. It wasn't long after when development completed and we had a finished product in our hands.
Well, we might be able to take it easy for once with that out of the way.
All we need to do now is sell it.
Thank you for your work, you two.
Thank you, sir.
I have something to discuss with both of you. Can you come to my office later?
All right. I wonder what it was about. We headed to Mr. Otori's office. Knock, knock.
Come in.
Excuse us.
I've been waiting for you. What can we do for you?
Mahiro asked with a concerned look on his face.
You don't have to look so scared. I just have a simple question. Are you two dating?
He asked nonchalantly. Not sure how to react. I looked toward Mahiro. He simply smiled at me, as if saying it'll be okay.
What if that's the case?
He stared down the CEO and posed his own question.
If I remember correctly, I firmly stated that relationships were forbidden. That was only until the project was over. Our work is complete, so that doesn't matter now. If it's successful, that is. It will be. You're too cocky. Are you that much against going to the marriage meeting? It's not that. It's because I'm already in love with her. I've got her. I'm not interested in anyone else.
But Mahiro, confessing his love for me in front of the CEO shocked even me.
So you're in love?
He squinted his eyes and stared at us.
If that's the case.
He was going to punish us for sure. Would he reassign us? Or even fire us? All different kinds of punishment came to mind, and my legs started to shake.
Congratulations. The number of orders has vastly exceeded our expectations. It's a success.
A huge smile spread across his face.
In other words, the marriage meeting has been put off. I'll arrange someone else to meet her. I thought this might happen, so I never even got into the arranged marriage negotiations with her. What? Are you serious? She doesn't even know your name. I did this only to get your fire stoked, so to speak. I even worked with your father. It was all just a ploy to bring out your potential. It worked. Damn it, you guys got me good.
Wasn't it really me that bought out his potential, though? He didn't need you guys to do that. It was all me. I'm taking credit for it.
Oh, I knew you could do it. You need to stop thinking everyone's better than you. They aren't. Sorry. No, I don't care if you see each other, but keep it decent in the office, please.
Oh, too late for that. Yes, sir.
All right.
We held hands and smiled at each other. As usual, we made our way to the meeting room.
I can't believe he did all that to me.
Maybe he noticed you always thought other people were better and was trying to help. That's why he went through all that effort of planning this whole thing.
But that's exactly why it's so frustrating. Think of all the trouble he put us through.
But in the end, we came out as lovers, so it turned out okay, right?
I guess. It just pisses me off he played with it so easily. I guess it doesn't matter as long as I have you.
He put his arm around my shoulder. Then he leaned in to kiss me. No, we had to behave in the office, remember?
I know, but...
He overpowered me and forced his lips onto mine.
No one's around, so it's okay.
You're such a pain sometimes.
You don't like it?
I never said that.
So you like it?
I never said that either. Yeah.
Me too. I love you, Dirili. I love you. Now and forever.
His face inched closer, and he kissed me to seal his promise of love. I knew it was all going to be some big crazy... I thought it would be like a whole bunch of combined misunderstandings, all these different incidences and stuff. But then I did start to actually suspect that he was a spy at a certain point, just because there were so many instances, and it was like, wait, what are we... And they just kept not explaining it. Well, that was some roller coaster. But okay, we'll get to see his 2 good endings soon. Next episode, his best ending, and then his good ending, and then his extras. So, hope to see you in that next video. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.